What's up, everybody? This is Nico Bostonakis on your newest episode of Coach's Corner. We got a special guest, Stephen Mawire, head coach of Fort Worth Christian. Very special guest for me because he coached my younger brother.
I wish I would have coached you, man.
No, we're happy to have you, and we're looking forward to it. I got to start off with a fun question here.
Okay.
With the uniforms, man.
Yes.
Tell me about the uniforms. I'm a gear guy. You're a gear guy.
Okay.
Give me some information on uniforms and why that's so important to your program.
Man, that is like a core issue for me. Like, so I hooped, and like all I ever wanted in high school was to rock some Jordan uniforms as a player, or Nike uniforms. I went to a smaller private school, so I always had like Russell and or who knows what, it was probably Russell. And I always said, man, if I ever become a coach, like I'm going to never spare a cent when it comes to uniforms. So I think I'm up to 6 uniforms as a team right now. So I ran out of colors. I couldn't find another color that fits within my school branding, and I'm the marketing director for my school too. So I stretched it.
I love it. I think it's important. You look good, you feel good.
Yes. Yes.
Switching lanes. What made you want to become a coach? Talk about some of the high school coaches that inspired you, and what moments made you want to kind of build your own path in that space and pursue coaching?
Yeah, no. So for me, when I was I played basketball my whole life. My brothers played, so I was always around the game. I always loved it. And for me, I had some really, really good coaches. There was a few little things that I feel like if each of those coaches would have done, I would have benefited a little bit more than I did, even though I had great coaches. So it's kind of like, for me, I'm like, man, I want to take all the good stuff I learned, add a few things that I thought would make it even better, and put that whole package together for young men to, do their best.
You talk a lot about fight as being one of your main identities for your team on the court. Tell me a little bit about that, what that means to you, why that's important, those sort of things.
Yeah, no, for me especially, like fight matters a lot for a couple of reasons. I'm really blessed to coach at a private school, but I think sometimes coaching at a private school, these kids are really, really blessed. They don't necessarily have a lot of adversity on a day-to-day basis like some schools. So for me, I feel like basketball and sports is kind of some of these guys' only opportunity to really experience things that just don't go their way right away. So I've always kind of had a knack for really wanting to establish that sense of resilience. And for me, if you ever watched me coach, and especially in our old school gym, like it's kind of tiered up, and like the fans can look directly down into my huddles. I look up, I see the parents that like me, the parents that don't like me. But if you ever see, if we're in a close game, there's a moment where there's a timeout, third, fourth quarter, where it has nothing to do with coaching, and it has everything to me talking to be like, are you going to man up? Are you going to fight through that moment? And do you want it more than our opponent? And there's always those moments, and I love those moments. I look for those moments because it's like I get to see if we're making progress. I get to see if our kids are going to react to it. And like every journey, sometimes kids aren't there yet. They haven't really learned how to push through that adversity. But when they do, it's special. Like those moments where it's like, man, it's not about X's and O's. It's about who wants it the most. And that's really why I coach. There's nothing better than seeing kids excel when things aren't going well and not accepting that result and changing it because they can.
No, that's great. And I think that bleeds right into what I was going to talk about next is, how do you keep your team so consistent all year? What are the habits that you preach? What are some of the consistent things that are non-negotiables for you and your program as you pursue a season? Because as you know, it's a long season and there's a lot that goes into it. There's things that have to happen every day to get to where you want to go.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the best teams I've ever had, and just the consistency that I'm striving for every year, obviously starts on the defensive end. And it's kind of like, if you can't get stops, you can't win games. There's no perfection in this game. You can control what you can control, and your effort, your attitude, and to me, your effort and attitude relates to the defensive end. So to me, if you can't be consistent at that, effort, attitude, and getting stops, we're never going to be that great. We're never going to be consistent. You know, the saying defense wins championships is real cheesy and corny, but I think defense wins consistency.
For sure.
You know, that's the one thing you can do every night that doesn't matter. You have the choice if you're going to get stops. You have the choice if you're going to do the intangibles when it comes to the defensive end. So how do I get them to be consistent? And, you know, I pray that I've done a good job at teaching them how to play phenomenal defense because, you know, stops matter. Offense, like I said, there's 1,000 people that can score 30 points. That's true. So you got to get stops these days, you know? So
switching gears a little bit, you've talked about how important faith and family is in your life. Tell me a little bit about how does faith and how does family kind of shape your life and why is it so important?
Yes. You know, for me, at the end of the day, I feel like faith is obviously, I'm a PK. So like when I walked away from coaching, that was really because I went to do full-time ministry for my dad. And I joked about like, hey, I don't want to be at anywhere else, but I used to drop my kid off every morning at Fort Worth Christian. And I kind of was okay with God taking me away from coaching. I said, God, if you want me to coach again, I want to be at Fort Worth Christian. That's the only place I want to go. I never applied for another job in that time. And I was blessed enough. Like I said, I got coaching really young and I had been at some really good private schools that easily probably could have got me another job if I wanted to coach again. And that's kind of like God kind of takes care of you, you know, and when you're doing what God wants you to do, everything works out. When you don't, obviously it doesn't. And family, man, my family as much of my basketball program as I am. It's like, if I didn't have family buy-in, I wouldn't be coaching. Absolutely. You know, like I still remember, you want to know the hardest thing that day we lost that state championship at Fort Worth Christian. You know, I was in the locker room with all those guys. They were devastated, and I was devastated for them. And I was devastated myself because, you know, you put so much effort in wanting to win a championship, and it's hard to get there. I've been blessed to get there twice. I always laugh. I'm like the coach that can get there, but just I haven't been able to figure out how to finish it. I'm hoping my third time's the charm. But with that being said, the hardest thing that day was going to face my kids because they wanted that championship so bad. Like, they were so bought in to wanting to win a championship, probably more than me. Like, they were more devastated than me, and having to go hug them after the game. Like, but that goes back to show, it's like, man, how does it all work together? It's like, man, if you don't have a family that is bought into what you're doing, and that doesn't have anything to do with coaching. I mean, it's like whatever your passion is, when your family's doing it with you, you know, it's kind of cool to see like your brothers kind of helps out around here. You know, it's like, it matters. Like when your family and you guys are all aligned, it's beautiful. And like I said, that goes back to faith. Because I think, you know, one of the biggest things is, you know, family. You know, if I'm a believer, and it's all throughout the Bible, family, faith, family. It's like, man, when you do stuff together, God blesses that. So I definitely believe it kind of goes hand in hand.
That's awesome, man. Well, we appreciate you joining the Coach's Corner today. Everybody, like and subscribe. Follow RevoCruit on all social media platforms. We're happy to meet with Coach Stephen Mawire.
Love what you guys are doing here, man. It's so needed.
We appreciate it, Coach. We appreciate it.